into the next session. So now it's time to dive into the session 2 of our event, our program. That session 2 is on web designing. The resource person is already on the line. So let's warmly welcome our resource person for this day 2 session 2, Dr. Anil sir, Assistant Professor of IT and Coordinator of Digital Monitoring Cell, JNTU Gurujada Vijayanagaram. Sir, please welcome, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Hema, madam, for your introduction.
Short introduction. Thank you, sir. Please welcome, sir.
So
Over
after
to you, sir.
a beautiful session by Savram sir,
Yes,
okay, it's my session. So I will share my presentation, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Students
Anil, and
are
welcome.
provided, sir, dear students, are provided his phone number also in the chat box. You please note if you are having any queries, you can contact sir also, Shivaram sir. Department of CSC. JNTU Gurujada Vijayanagaram, College of Engineering, Vijayanagaram.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So, hello, my student friends. And I thank all the organizers, Register Madam, VC Madam, and Hema Madam for providing a chance to give lecture on introduction to web design. So here I am the digital monitoring cell coordinator as well as I am the webmaster of the university. So we actually we are developing and we are managing all the website, our university website by the digital monitoring cell only. So I am the digital monitoring cell coordinator, and see. So what is a web design? So this is the outline of my presentation. In the first, I would like to give the introduction about the web design and what is World Wide Web and the core components of the web design. And so the difference between what is a web design and web development, and what are the hosting options, how we can host the developed website. And I give the brief introduction with the pathway, how need to be a full stack developer. And if the time permits, we'll search about the search engine optimization. And see here. So what is a web design? Okay, so web design is the process of creating and designing websites that visually appealing. Okay, so if you design a website, so it need to be visually appealing, means it need to be so very interactive and user friendly and functional. See, we need to interact with the website. It will. So what do you mean by a website? It contains a set of documents. So that documents we are sharing through a server, or we are sharing that resources through online. And what happens? The clients or the users, they are accessing from the browsers. Means they are accessing from their own mobiles or systems. Okay. So here. So what happens is we need to provide the data in a more visually pleasing way. Okay. So that comes under the web design, and so they need to interact. They need to, suppose if you like to access the Instagram or the LinkedIn or the different websites, what happens is you need to interact. First, you need to log in. They need to provide authentication. And after that, you can post, you can do interaction, you can do it, you can interact with that particular system or the particular app. Okay, you can post something, you can post your image onto that particular app, or you can verify others' profiles. So this all comes under the web design. Okay, so we are designing the app, that means it's visually appealing, need to be user friendly. And see here in this web design, what we will consider is what is the layout design, how we need to place the items. Okay, so where the logo we need to place and what is the information we need to give. And suppose here if it is a Facebook, where the notifications to be and where the posts to be. Okay, so what happens when a post is clicked? Okay, that all we need to mention within the this web design. Okay, so layout design and typography and color. So what fonts we need to use and how the text to need to be displayed. Okay, what font styles we need to specify and the colors, how pleasingly we can represent our website, which colors need to be mentioned. Okay, that all comes under this the web design and the navigation. Suppose take our website or university website. What happens is we have the many departments and we need to navigate from the one place to another place. Suppose we would like to download the information about the syllabus. You need to go to the academics, and in the academic syllabus you need to download the corresponding syllabus. Okay, so how we navigate from one page to another page. Okay, and the responsiveness. Suppose here we designed a web page. Suppose it is be visually appealing and user friendly and the functional in the desktop, if it is available in the desktop. But many of the users from they access from the mobile device. So what happens when if we design the app or if we design the desktop only for the desktop, okay, if it is accessing from the mobile, if it is not visually appealing and it is not functional, what happens? Okay, it is not a good way. Okay, so what happens is we need to design a website, okay, that to be a responsive means on any device. Suppose if you are accessing from TV or you need to access from the some particular desktop, or if you are accessing from the mobile, it need to be responsive. Okay, so what happens is the website need to be in on any device. It need to be accessible from the any device in the same way, same manner. Whatever we access in the desktop, that need to be in the mobile also. Okay, so this is the brief introduction of the web design, and we'll discuss. Okay, so what is the World Wide Web? Okay, so everyone knows about this World Wide Web, that is www. So whatever website you would like to access, what happens is in the browser, you will specify that it is World Wide Web www.google.com. So first thing, whatever you would like to search, suppose what is the linear search algorithm, what you will do? First, you will go to the Google search, www.google.com, and after that you'll search linear search algorithm. Okay, yes or no? Yes. So here, so what happens is everything we can access through the web. So the first web page was designed by the Tim Berners-Lee in the CERN lab, okay, in the physics lab. So to exchange these scientific experiments, the scientific information across the universities, they developed one protocol, one this transfer protocol. So to transfer the documents between these universities or two different places. So they developed this team Berners-Lee and the person Robert, I think they developed this www. And see, I will show how the first web page they in the CERN lab. What happens is they provided that first web page created. Okay, I will show that in the next after completing this presentation. Okay, see, and he is also called Sir Dean Berners-Lee is also called as the father of the web. Okay, and see here the evolution of the web, how it is from the static to intelligent. Okay, so first we have three in the evolution of the web. There are three phases. The first one, web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Okay, so first one is the whenever the starting stage. Okay, we can represent only the static content. Okay, so what happens is in the start early stages, they provided with only the static information. Okay, suppose you would like to what happens is I would like to give some, they post some documents and that document will be retrieved. Okay, so that we in the web 1.0, if it is only for the static information, to display the static information, we they use the web 1.0, and the technologies they used is the HTML and the CSS cascading style sheets to make styles to the pages. So we use the CSS. So the examples are Yahoo and Netscape. And the technology we use is Web 2.0. Okay, so it is now we are also using the Web 2.0 only. Okay, that is early 2002 present. Okay, so it is not dynamic web content, means we can read or write. Okay, so we can log into our system, we can post. Okay, so we can post means we can, when we add the data, that will be placed in the server. Okay, so it is the web 2.0 and it is an interactive one. Okay, what happens is we can post, we can retrieve the data and we can post the data. So whatever we are using now is the web 2.0. Okay, and the technologies are HTML5 and JavaScript and APIs. And the data ownership is the centralized, yeah, same one, because we are accessing from this server. Whenever we like to access, what happens is we request to, suppose we need to mention that particular URL, the address of that particular resource. Okay, we need to enter that and that will be written. Okay, so if that particular resource is available, it will be written. And the technology we using the HTML5 and JavaScript and APIs. Okay, so whatever the apps you are using, it all comes under the, for the examples, Facebook, YouTube, and Wikipedia. This is all. So what we are requesting, and we can post also. That is the web 2.0. Now the third era, web 3.0. Okay, so it is a very new 2020 and not up to the level. It reached all the common man. Okay, so here the difference is from the web 1.0 and 2.0. From the web 1.0, it is a static and it is a dynamic. Now it is an intelligent systems. Okay, so read, write, and execute, and uh, okay, it is a decentralized one. So here, from the first two, it is a centralized one, and here the third Web 3.0 is the decentralized one. Means there is no particular server. Okay, so everyone can contain the data. They can share the data. Okay, so if you want to download a file, so what happens is you need to take it from the different users. Okay, it is a decentralized one, and we achieve by using the blockchain technology. See here, so by using this blockchain, AI, and smart contracts, what happens is what happens is paper usage. So now Web 3.0 also we can what happens is we can use as per paper usage. Okay, suppose if you will develop an application that like Netflix platform, what happens is whenever you have seen some at the it's a 3 hour movie and you have seen up to 1.5 hour, so you need to pay up to that 1.5 hour. Okay, so you don't like that movie, you will leave that movie. So that type of applications, when we go for the web 3.0, we can develop that type of applications. So paper usage applications, and so what happens is whenever you get likes and shares, so many of you get likes and shares, we can get more money. Like what happens is in the YouTube or YouTube providing, so what happens is based on the views they are providing the money. But so what happens over here, we can dynamically give intelligent systems. We can, it will decide what how much amount they need to give. Okay, and the data ownership here is the decentralized, not centralized one. So up to now, it is a regulated. Regulators will control the total data or for total rules. But what are in the decentralized one? It is an open one. It is immutable. Okay, no one can control this particular applications. Okay, so user role here, the Where for the web 1.0, it is passive consumers, but for the 2.0, they can contribute, they can post some data. And here in the web 3.0, they can develop own application and they can be the owners because it's a decentralized one. You will be the server as well as the client. You can act as a user as well as a server user. Okay, so the best example is distributed apps. Now it is a trending apps, trending apps we need to develop. What happens is we need to know the blockchain technology and distributed app technologies and all the front end and back end technologies. Okay, so this is the evolution of the web from the static to intelligent. Now we are in the intelligent web 3.0. Okay, see here. Now we are discussing about, okay, what is a URL, uniform resource locator, and how we can access the address. Okay, suppose you want to get some information, how you are getting. Okay, what we need to do, we need to mention the address. Suppose I would like to access the Google address, Google web page. What we need to do, we need to provide HTTP or HTTPS slash slash colon slash slash and specify the website address. So if that particular resource is available at the server, what happens is it will return that particular resource to the user. Okay, so you are accessing from the web browser, and to that web browser it will give the resource. And we are okay. There is the communication channel is in between the user, the client, and the server. Okay, so what happens is, so this we called as domain www.google.com, or okay, suppose I would like to get the academic calendars. What happens? We need to type www.j2gv.edu.in and get the calendars. Okay, so we are requesting the resource from the server, and the server will return that particular resource. And so by using the URL, okay, so we need to get that information, and ICANN will provide the names of the URLs. Suppose you need to register the name. Suppose you would like to develop a what we called a website for the Vishakhapatnam. So what happens is I would like to develop Mana Vishakhapatnam. I would like to register that particular domain, that is at manavishakhapatnam.com or manavishakhapatnam.in. Okay. For that, domain name system means, so it will convert that name to the IP address. Okay, servers we access by using the public IP by using the IP address. So IP address means it's like a number, so for quadrants, that is 192.168.18.10. It is like that. Okay, so it need to map with the DNS and the name of the URL. Okay, and here, okay, so we are using the protocol to transfer the data between the server and the computer. Okay, between any two computers. Okay, we use these protocols. The first protocol is the HTTP hypertext transfer protocol. So what happens is we have hypertext. Okay, whatever we write that are available in the text format only, we can transport the text files between the server and the client. So there are two types of connections. The first one at the web 1.0, what happens is we use the HTTP connection. So the advantage is it is very fast. Okay, compared to the latest one, that is HTTPS. Okay, but in the HTTP connection, what happens is whatever the data we are sending, the disadvantage is whatever the data we are sending to the server, and from the server it is responding whatever the data it is sending in the format of hypertext. Okay, it is visible to the communication channel. Means suppose one person tap that communication channel, and if he tap and if he downloaded all the data, so that data is visible to him. Okay, that is the HTTP connection. So similar, what happens is it is used in the web 1.0. Okay, but from the client, Okay, we request the server by using the request object, and the server will respond with the response object. Okay, see the difference between now we are using the HTTP secure. What do you mean by HTTP secure? Means HTTPS. Okay, suppose if you type in the for the www.google.com or any website or our website, university website, it will be in the left side. It will show the secure symbol. Okay, so that will be provided by SSL, secure socket layer. Means whatever data we are sending from the, okay, just it is requesting a resource from the client to the server. What happens that will be secured in a secured manner we are sent. Okay, means it will be encrypted. So if the third person is downloading the, if by tapping the communication channel, if he download the total information, okay, he may not understand why, because when we use the HTTPS, okay, so whatever their data we are sending in a secured manner, means we are encrypt the data by using the public key encryption algorithms. Okay, so the public key encryption algorithm is okay. We'll learn about in the future, in the next years, in the next semesters, you will learn. But just remember that whatever data we need to use SSL certificate. The advantage for the when we are using the SSL certificate. Okay, so the full form is for the HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and for the HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So we are securing the data. So whatever we are sending to, so from our computer to the communication channel. So see here, whatever we are using is an insecure, unsecured communication channel. So whenever you are using the communication channel, means it is unsecure. Why? Because the data will be public and anyone at any level, it will be tapped, it will be downloaded. Okay, so whatever the data we are sending, so that's why we need to protect our data in a secure manner, and that's why we need to use HTTPS. And this, it applies on application layer, and but the HTTPS will work on transport layer. Okay, so the data encryption here, there is a, in the HTTP there is no encryption, but in the HTTPS it will be encrypted whatever data we are sending. Okay, so the problem is security. In the HTTP is vulnerable to attacks like sniffing and tampering. But whenever we use HTTPS, okay, it against eavesdropping, tampering, and man in the middle attack. Okay, so but the disadvantage of HTTPS is slightly slower than the previous one, the HTTP, because there is a overhead of the encryption and decryption. Okay, so SEO, search engine optimization. What is search engine optimization? Anyone? Okay, search engine optimization means whatever the web page we have created, okay, that need to be in the high ranking. So whenever in the search engine, whenever I type designer, it need to display our website, our college university website. Okay, so that we need to mention with the search engine optimization. Okay. Okay, so what are the, when we use the HTTPS, if it's a non-sensitive data, suppose you like to show some information, then we can go for HTTP. Why? Because it is a lighter one. Okay, but if it have a sensitive information, we need to go for HTTPS. Okay, and there is a SSL certificate we need to mention. Okay, what is the use of the web browsers? So the web browsers, what happens is, whatever you would like to request the server, you'd like to access some information, we can access through the web browser only. And here for the development also we use the web browsers. Suppose we would like to do what we call we would like to inspect, or we would like to develop applications, and we need to check. We need to have a very good browser. This Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge, these are all the very good browsers, and they all these browsers have the developer tools. So we can Suppose for the normal people, we use for the requesting the resource, but the future developers, we need to use it for the developer tools also in the this Google Chrome. Okay, so what happens is it will resolve the URLs. So whatever the URL we mentioned, that will be connected, converted into their number, IP address, and based on the IP address, it will request that particular server. Okay, so after that, whenever the resource come, okay, in the form of hypertext, that hypertext is been rendered through like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so that web page will be displayed on the browser. Okay, and the managing security already we discussed. We use the HTTPS protocol. Okay, so we are going to the main component, that is web designing. So what is the web designing? The process of creating and designing visual layout and user interface of the website. Okay, so what happens is in the web designing, what we will mention what components to be placed, where you need to be placed, and what styles we need to apply, and what functions we need to do. Okay, so for that we have three items. Okay, so we would like to do web designer, website designer or website developer. So what we need to do is we need to learn these three things: the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, HTML means the hypertext markup language. See here, what we will explain with one analogy. Okay, so what is the HTML? A user interface for the login page. What we need to have? We need to have two labels and two password, and we need to have a login button. This all we need to mention. This all we need to mention within the HTML. Okay, the structure of the house means here what type of walls we need to have, roofs, doors, windows. Okay, in the structure, so there is no shape for that particular house, but okay, we can use it. We can use it as a house because okay, we mentioned a structure of the house. Okay, similarly, what happens is so here the analogy is for the walls. We use the divisions, headers, footers. All we call it as in the website. We call it as the division, header, and footer. And in the house structure, we call it as the walls. And the rooms are the we call it as section. So we divide into sections, and in that sections we mention what we need to place. Okay, and doors and windows are the so what happens is it has some functionality. Okay, that we need to mention within the anchor tag and image tags. So here in the hypertext markup language, which is used for the developing the web applications. Okay, so what happens is the basic structure we mentioned within by using the hypertext markup language. So what happens is without HTML, the host doesn't exist and the website doesn't exist. Okay, so by using the CSS and JavaScript, you can't have a house. Okay, so what happens is the total structure we can mention by using the HTML. Whatever the structure you would like to design about the your website, that we need to mention within the HTML. And here the CSS, the decoration and the styling. Okay, so what happens is the house looks beautiful when we use costly furniture and we need to place correctly. Okay, so the web page. So you for the login page, what happens is you added the components like username, password, text boxes, and the button, but it need to place at what location and which colors it need to be resemble. A button whenever we uh, okay hover on a mouse, hover on a button, what it need to be. Whenever we click on the button, what it need to do. Okay, so the styling we need to mention by using the CSS, cascading style sheet, the decoration and the styling. Okay, so here the background color. the background color, font family, and flexbox and grid. So how we place the components. So in the flexbox means in the grid flexbox means it will be placed one by one. And whenever we use grid, it will be like a matrix type. We can place anywhere. So if you specify a grid of 3 by 3, it contains the web page is divided into nine places. In that nine places, you can place anywhere. Okay, so the decoration and the styling we need to mention within the whatever say cascading style sheets CSS we need to use. See, and the important one, the main one, the JavaScript. Okay, see here the functionality. How we need to mention the functionality. So in the house, so you constructed the house with this structure, very good structure, and you applied the CSS. Okay, cascading style sheets applied, and what happens is it will be very good furniture and whatever we call it as a okay. So very pleasant colors you have mentioned. Okay, font you mentioned, but the functionality here, the plumbing was. So whenever I enter and whenever I switch on, it need to switch on the light or fan. Okay, electrical items or the plumbing items. Whenever I tap, okay, turn the tap, it need to give water. Okay, so what that functionality, how we mention that functionality by using the JavaScript. Okay, so whenever I click on the button, whenever I enter the username and password, and whenever I click on the button, what it need to submit that information to the server. Okay, so server will validate the information and give it back to the user. Okay, so that functionality we need to mention within the JavaScript. Okay, so it is the mechanical system, whatever you would like to develop, whatever you like to use, that we need to mention within the JavaScript. Okay, so here you would like to you would like to work as a web developer. We need to learn this first basic components, all these three basic components: JavaScript, HTML, and cascading style sheet, CSS. Okay, so you know what is the HTML, the hypertext markup language we already discussed, and it defines the building blocks of the web page. Okay, headings, paragraphs, links, images, and okay, so all this the hypertext markup is by Tim Berners-Lee and very limited function. We like simple tags like paragraph tag and image tag. And after that, it need to be some improved interactivity in the HTML 2.0, that is 1995. So forms, okay. So they developed forms to submit some information through what happens is whenever we submit that information appended to the URL, and that will be submitted to the server. Okay, and it also have some better tags compared to the previous one. In the previous one, we have only limited tags, and it is improved. And from the 1997, before that, we will have only the pages with what we call as only the static pages, only with whatever tags we use that will be displayed in the page. Okay, so from the 1997 only, from the that year only, okay, suppose style sheets will be implemented. And from the HTML 4.0, so they invented frames so that we divide the web page into different frames and we'll put the data. Before that, it's not possible. Okay, and from the 99 and 2000, what happens is uh, there is stricter syntax means okay, very strict syntax is developed. Before that, that much syntax is not implemented. So what happens is whatever CSS rules, what happens before that, it is a problem that there is a overlapping of the CSS. Some problems are there that overcome in the XHTML 1.0, and now we are using in the HTML5 the semantic tag, meaningful tags, that is article, section, header, and footer. Okay, and audio for the audio, video, and support also there at the HTML5. Okay, So Canvas API. So we can use the APIs. Okay, the latest one we are using now for the HTML5 only. They are adding the functionality. Latest one is the only HTML5. Okay, see here. So what is the difference between the web designing and web development? See here. So what happens is in the web designing, we will not concentrate about the functionality. Okay, so is it visually aesthetic? Aesthetic. Okay, is it a good design to show total information? But it comes to the web development. Okay, it need to be functional and okay, technical. So what happens is whatever the functionality, suppose you would like to do some server side code. Suppose if I submit the username and password, and when I click on the submit button, what happens? It submits some particular data, username and password to the server. And at the server, what it will do? It will validate. It will execute. Okay, that particular code we need to mention within the web development. So what happens is it is with the visual aspects as well as the web development, means the functional aspect. Okay, so web designing mainly concentrate on the visual aspects only. So what happens is, so you'd like to do the static web pages. Okay, we can go for the web designing. The best tool is the WordPress. Okay, so in the WordPress, the advantage is there is no code, there is no need to write code for that. Directly, you can create an account, and it is a free account, and they will give 1 GB of storage also. And what happens is you need to drag and drop. There are some themes are there, and in the you need to choose one theme, and you can modify. Okay, so that comes under web designing. And web development means, see, what happens is we need to use JavaScript. Okay, so previously up to 2000 or 2010, JavaScript only for the client scripting. Okay, it is used as a programming language, or it is a scripting language used for what we called it is a scripting language for the only the client. At the client only it will execute. But uh, the recent times, 2015 onwards, what happens is it is developing for the server side also. Okay, so here we'll have the two aspects, the front end and the back end. And in the two technologies also, in the two as a front end and the back end, we are using the JavaScript. Now it's a very demanding course, or a demanding programming language is the JavaScript. So for developing the websites and backend code also. So backend means we will discuss it like okay. So what happens is the logic, the server interaction, whatever the server need to execute, that we need to write within the Node.js JavaScript. Okay, so here for the web designing, the outcome is layout, how we place the elements and what color schemes we have used, how we navigate. That all comes under how if server is interacted, how the server is responded. Okay, that all comes under the web development. Branches are there, all branches comes. Okay, they need to concentrate on web development. So in the first year, because you are the students of the first year, then you concentrate on web design, and from the second year you need to concentrate on the development. So I all request all the students create the WordPress accounts. What happens is it will create a website for us based on the prompt. Okay, how easy it is. Suppose in the recent times, what happens is whatever you want, that we need to mention within the what we called the prompt. Okay, see for one prompt, it creating the total website. Okay, so in your first year, okay, the best learning tool is the WordPress. Okay, it is a sample web page. See here. So from the web 5.0, it is the semantic types, strict types. Okay, so it starts with HTML. Okay, so this is called the starting tag, and this is called the ending tag. What we need to do is for mentioning the ending tag, we need to have a slash. Right? And whatever head. So you remember this title page. So what is here? The title page is the my first web page. Okay, so when we're discussing about the search engine optimization, we need to use see here. So this is my first web page, and we need to add with we need to save this file as my first page dot web page dot html. Okay, so this what happens is this is one is the header tag to display the information. Okay, so it will display the message in a bigger way. Okay, welcome to my website, and the paragraph. Suppose you would like to do add some information that we need to mention within the paragraph. In the web 1.0, we have these tags. Okay, and after that in the web 2.0 we have the AHR. Okay, so we would like to add some links. Okay, we need to use the anchor tag. Okay. And see here, what is the difference between the front end and back end development? So what is the front end development? So that is already we discussed that the user interface. What we need to suppose if you go to a bank, what you will do in the bank, you will enter. Okay, you will access the user interface. Okay, you need to enter something. Just you need to press. Okay, thus that user interface that we need to design by the front end development. Okay. And the backend development, the server side operations. So whatever code you would like to execute at the server, that we need to mention at the backend development. Okay. Okay. See here. So okay, see here. So what is that? We have two approaches. One is the front end development and back end development. And what is the front end development? It focuses on the only visual part. So what you would like to display visually, what you are seeing, that the role of the front end development. And the back end development means okay. So how you interact the database, how you execute at the server side, and all this the functionality is comes under the back end development. Okay, and so to manage data and logic, we need to use the backend development. And what are the technologies we use? For the front-end development, we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the frameworks, the latest frameworks, React, Angular, and Vue.js. So our website is developed using the React, our university website. And here you'd like to develop MVC type model view controller type means you are accessing the database every time. Then you go for the Angular, and Vue.js is also a good framework. See here, this all the frameworks or libraries are based on the JavaScript. So from the web 2.0, web 1.0 and 2.0 up to some extent, JavaScript is only for the client side scripting. Okay, so it is only executed at the clients, but it is overcome as a server side technology. Okay, so this framework libraries means it's at the front end. Okay, so they also use the JavaScript. The first you need to learn the JavaScript. Okay, you need to have the total knowledge about the JavaScript. Then you can learn the React and Angular. And see here, the backend logic, the languages are the PHP, Python, Java, Ruby, Node.js. Okay, and the databases are MySQL, MongoDB, and Postgres SQL. So here, so what happens is at this server side, you'd like to execute something. Okay, we need to go for this programming languages. Okay, so Python is Django, and okay, so Java. Suppose Java server pages are Springs. Springs is the Java technology, and we can access the web pages by using the at the server side when we use the Java. Okay, and the Node.js we are using with the React and Angular. So it is now the popular backend programming language, and that also is built on JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, the responsibility of the front end developer is okay. So layout, what layout they need to use, buttons, menus, forms. Okay, and the responsive design already discussed. See, whatever the website we developed, that need to be fit to every device. Okay, as a desktop or laptop or mobile, anything need to fit and it need to be visually appealing in any device. That will be the responsiveness. Okay, so the front end developers responsiveness is to design a what it called okay, device specific. It need to be device specific, any responsive to every device. Okay, so what happens is it will handle the client side logic like animations. But here the responsibilities of the backend development, managing server request and responses. Whatever the server request came from the clients, it need to do the request. It will process the request and it need to respond. Already we have seen HTTPS and HTTP. So what happens? Whatever the data we are sending is the request, and whatever the from the client to server, from this whatever the data sending from the server is the response, and the building the API. See here, what happens is in the front end and back end, to connect the front end back end, we need to use application programming interfaces. Okay, not it is not easy directly. We can't access the web, what is called databases or not. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to use a service called application programming interface. Okay, that need to build, and only that particular APIs will be accessed by the front end developer. Okay, so handling the database operations, CRUD operations, we call it as a CRUD operations. So delete, update, create, read, update, delete operations that we need to handle. Okay, on the database. Okay, so the code editors are VS Code, Sublime Text, Postman, and the Docker to test the APIs. We can use the Postman to store the web server. We can means if we place that in Docker means it will automatically manage or automatically what we called as the load balance. So here, so if there are 100 requests, first it will be allocate some bandwidth, and whenever there are 1,000 requests, it will increase based on the Docker and Nginx and Apache servers. What happens is in one server we can maintain multiple websites. Okay, so we can use that type of server tools. So Apache or Nginx. What happens is, so see here, suppose if there is no Apache or Nginx, what happens is we have only one server for one website. Okay, see here, it is not possible because it's very costly. So what happens is that's why the shared hosting will work by using the Nginx. Okay. And here the output, the variable visible part of the website, the user see and interact with. Okay, that is the output of the front end, and what is the back end output? So the logic and data processing and the power of the front end interface. Okay, so whatever the logic. So suppose when we enter username and password, and when we they submit it, the data is submitted at the server, and the logic. So it will check in the in the database that particular username and password is matched. So then what happens? Okay, if it is matches, it will log in, it will authenticate it and give access to their data. Okay, no? So what happens? Whatever the data they are accessing, that will be provided. That whatever data they stored, that will be provided as a response. Okay, so that will be submitted to the front end interface. Okay, so that will be displayed to the front end. So whatever the data that is given by the server need to managed by the front end user, front end developer. Okay, and directly interacts with the user through the browser. Okay, so what happens is here everyone need to access from the browser only. Already we discussed. So browser also support the development tools, and the browser, whatever the data we need to access, we need to give by using the browser only. Okay, that interface we need to access. Okay, so user to directed, because backend developers there is no interaction backend development, because it will be at the server side, it will be done and it will be given to the front end only. Okay, only front end we will see. Okay, roles are the front end developers, UX developers, and the backend developers are database administrators and DevOps engineers. Okay, so database and the backend development all comes under the backend developer. So the sad part is now you need to learn everything. You if you are recruited, what happens is you will be there and you are the one AI agent. So what happens is you need to give you first you need to learn everything and you need to give prompts to that particular AI agent. What happens is that AI agent will provide the data, whatever the code or whatever the project you have given to you, and you need to verify. So that what happens, you need to learn, you need to know everything, front end, back end, and what is called the testing. And what happens is your companion, there is no, I think in the future, there is no colleagues need to discuss. Okay, so your company will provide you one A, whatever, based on your project, they will provide the A agents, and you need to ask them, you need to give prompts to that A agents, and they will be replied. Okay, and here already we have seen whatever you need to learn, you need to register your accounts with the WordPress. It is a free. So develop your profile portfolio. Okay, so in the first year itself, and what happens is you publish that to everyone. So whatever what you developed or what to programming languages you know, what certifications you have done, what project, what internships you have done, who interacted with, what projects you have developed. That all you need to mention within your portfolio, your photo, your information, and so what happens is you provide that. Okay, so what happens is if you learn, if you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript or any other framework, React or Vue or any other Angular JS framework, so you design with very attractive web page and provide all your portfolio and see that share from the first year itself. Okay, and after that you learn JavaScript, and after that you learn whatever called the Node.js backend technologies, and develop applications for your college or your city or your village. Okay, so develop applications and they you can add into your portfolio. So what happens is the company is looking what he can do. Okay, so in future there may be chance that there is no training for the students. What happens is they want with the work experience, how they do it. So ask your managements to provide servers, or you can purchase online virtual private servers. It's very low cost. So if you share all the friends, you can get the web hosting servers. Okay, so you can develop from first year onwards. You need to develop your projects. Okay, so first project you need to do is your portfolio. Okay, so WordPress is the best plan, best one. They provide 1 GB data storage also, and your name.wordpress.com. They provide the domain also. There is no need to pay anything. Okay, so you go for the WordPress account and just try. Okay, create your portfolio neatly. Okay, and share it with your friends and family members. Okay, so there you take feedback and improve it. Okay, so in the from the second year onwards, okay, you learn HTML, CSS, and from in your curriculum it is there. So what happens is you learn and you can apply, you can upgrade. You need to change your portfolio from WordPress to your by using your programming languages. Okay, markup languages. Okay, so here these are all the free GitHub pages, Vercel, Netlify. These are all the free hosting plans, free hosting providers. So whatever the data, whatever web pages you have developed, that at most static pages they support. Okay, the GitHub pages. So what happens is, and another thing you need to do is you need to create a GitHub account. Okay, first static you because it provide what is the GitHub in the GitHub account. What happens is it's a like developer account. You can store all the code you develop and web pages you develop, and it will provide also the hosting space also. Okay, so if you have a GitHub page, you can directly pull that into the Vercel. Vercel is also a free hosting platform of as a hobby. If it is it provides 100 GB of data, 100 GB of bandwidth. Data is I don't know. Okay, it will provide the 100 GB of bandwidth. And see here, so what happens is from the front end, back end, and the hosting. You have to know how to host your website also. Okay, so that what happens is with your ideas you can develop a website and you can place ads in that. Within it this 2 years, what happens is you will earn something by using that particular website. Okay, and this is the paid providers: Hostinger, HostGator, aws aws. Okay, the advantage is it will provide either Linux server or Windows server as a free for 1 year. Okay, if you have a what it called a credit card or a debit card. So what happens is in the Amazon Web Services, it is also easy to instances are there that you can manage the data. Okay, and GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy contain the hosting plans as well as whatever you'd like to have a one domain. So my name is Anil Urti. Anil dot in, or whatever I would like to give my address as a anilurti.in or anilurti.com or anilurti.me, so that we can purchase by using the godaddy.com or the hostinger also. I think it will provide. So yeah, so for the mastering, the full stack developer. Okay, you would like to be a full stack developer at the end of your 4th year. So what happens is you need to learn all this technology. So in the first step, you need to learn the fundamentals of web development. What is that? Um, you need to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And after that, advanced front-end development like React.js, Vue.js. There are lots of frameworks are there. So it is easy. So what is the this called React.js? It's a component based. So we can build reusable component by using the basic components. See here, if you don't know about the first step, the fundamentals of web development, that is HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript, okay, you can't move further to the advanced front-end development. You can't directly use the React or Vue. Okay, you go for advanced front-end development, and for the back-end development. Okay, so here, what is the backend development? So already we discussed. We need to choose one programming language, either Python or by using the Python, Flask, or Django, or Node.js. Okay, so we need to learn that backend development and the full stack integration. How we integrate the front end and back end. Okay, so how we integrate that front end and back end. So what happens is we develop APIs, RESTful APIs, and that need to be integrated with the front end. Okay, so that is the full stack integration. Yeah, so in the first step, we need to learn HTML, CSS, and basics of JavaScript. DOM, document object model. See, what is the advantage of JavaScript is whatever the available in the that particular document. So whatever we mentioned in the HTML and CSS, that we can access by using the DOM. So for to interact, to use to learn the React or AngularJS, what happens is we must have the DOM, document object model. So what it will consider is it will consider every page as a document object model. So everything we can access, we can modify by using that particular DOM. Okay, and we need to know the event handling and asynchronous programming. So we need to handle events, mouse events. Okay, so what we need to do whenever I click on the mouse, so that we can use it by using JavaScript. Okay, but at these first fundamental stage, it will be in the front end only, not the back end. Okay,
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
madam, PPT కనబడట్లేదు.
Yeah, yes, sir.
మేడం టైం అయిపోయిందా?
Oh, unless the 10 minutes we can extend. Sir is already joined, sir. But you can extend for 10 minutes more, sir.
ఒక 2 minutes మేడం.
Yes, sir. Sir. Visible, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, your voice is not audible.
Okay, ma'am. Is it audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the advanced front-end development, we need to consider React, Vue, and Angular. Okay, and the responsive design also. So what happens is responsive design means, so for each device, it need to be aligned. Okay, so backend like what? So backend frameworks are Node, Express, and Python, Ruby and Rails, and you need to do how to work with APIs and the database programming. Okay, how to work with the databases. And on the last one, we need to integrate how the front end and the back end. And the deployment for the Heroku, AWS, DigitalOcean, Netlify, and Hostinger. So visible in every search engine. So that what we need to do is we need okay. So type Vijayanagaram on the Google search engine. So our website need to be on first. So what happens is there are different techniques. Okay, so that our web pages will be on search engine ranking in the high. So what happens is this SEOs are the demanding job before 10 years, but now the persons who are developing the website, they are doing the search engine optimizations. Okay. So the goal of the SEO is to attract more organic traffic to your site by making it more visible to search engines like Google, Bing, or Apple. Okay, see here. So see this one is this is the first web page Bernally developed and shared that information. Okay, and info.cern.ch. Okay, it is available in the CERN portal. Okay, so in the previous days, the systems is like this, the line graphs. Okay, so this is the first page you're seeing, first web page. Okay, in the CERN lab, they provided from one place to another. And see here, we can develop by using JavaScript, XML, what it called, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Okay, we can develop games, a client-side game. Okay, see here, this is the tic-tac-toe. How many of you know? I think this tic-tac-toe game. So based on the pattern, they decide the winner. Okay, player X wins. Okay, so restart. Okay, so it is a draw. So sorry, player X wins. See, so here, suppose in this, if I remove the style sheet, okay, there is only the HTML components will be displayed. There is no style sheets are there. And suppose if I remove script, okay, there is no functionality. We can't apply any functionality when there is a no script, JavaScript. Okay, so here. So if to add the functionality, we need to add the JavaScript, and to add the styling, we need to add style sheet. Okay, these are the script JS file, and this is the style file. And there the search engine. So our JNTU website search console, we registered in the search console, and here, so we're getting the overview. So there are total 24,624 627 searches, search clicks when they entered in the Google page, and they when they enter or J into ZV or anything. Okay, so it will be displayed this information 24,627 web clicks. And see here, another one is, so out of there are total 189K impressions, means 1,89,000 impressions, and the total impressions means whenever they search something. So suppose if they are some, if they are searching Vijayanagaram, okay, that page will be displayed. Our J2ZV page will be displayed, and out of that there are 24.66 24,000 total clicks are there for the our website. And here, so top queries. So users are searching J2ZV. So total impressions are 12,237 and total clicks are 8,728. Okay, and J2 space GV. See a total search terms, how they are searching and how they are clicking. Okay, so the total information when we developed a website, and that will be registered in the this particular search console, we will get what is the search statistics. So based on that, we can add the search information, or we need to add in the meta tag, or we need to add the head tags. Okay, to improve on-page SEO, software search engine optimization, what we need to do is we need to add this information. Sir, sir. Okay, see here. So if the students are searching J2CV results and they are clicking J2CV website. So this is the search statistics, and we'll also we registered in the analytics. Okay, see here. Until now, we registered from the April 1st. Until now, there are 48K users interacted with the J2GB website, and there are 2,35,000 views for the J2GB website. Okay, so we registered for the analytics as well as the console. So what happens is by using this, we will improve the search results. So whatever they are accessing. Okay, so users are searching about J2GB notifications, J2GB Vijayanagaram OD apply, how to apply OD. Okay, so they're searching and they are coming into the website. So what happens is whenever the search term is given, okay, and the our J2GB website is displayed, that is called impression. And out of this total 1,89,000 impressions, they are clicking on only the 24,000 times. Okay, so that is the CTR rate is 13%. Okay, so this way, with this, I'm closing the session, and my conclusion that you learned about what is the building blocks of HTML and what is the how to use it to be functional. Hmm. And what you know about what is the front end development and back end development. Okay, and the total overview of the web design. Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. Sir, a few of the questions the students asked, what is the difference between HTML and HTML5?
HTML5 is an improved version. Okay, so they added the extra tags. Okay, so they also added the semantic tags. So what happens is we will make the website as a by using that particular website tags. Okay, it is more attractive, and we can what happens is we can present. So it contain the header tag, footer tag, and all the some advanced tags has been added. That's it.
Yes, sir. One more question is, how can I protect my web application from SQL injection attacks?
SQL injection attacks. You don't need to show your what data you are sending. Okay, so what happens is if you use the HTTP methods or post methods, not post methods, what happens is it will provide what data you are sending to the website or server. Okay, so and you don't need to show the total path. Okay, whatever the data you are sending, that need to hide. There are different techniques are there and the latest technologies. You need not to provide the information, and you must register for the SSL certificate, so that what happens is whatever the data you are sending, that is in the encrypted form.
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Students, so if you're having any doubts, please post those questions and everything on the mail ID or in this chat box. Definitely, we will provide you with the respective answers and materials. Okay?
Thank you, students, for the patient listening, and thank you, madam, and Registrar Madam and VC Garu providing the chance. Thank you, madam.